Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Jayashree Premkumar Shet, working as an assistant professor in Qasim University, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. My study is on the cohesive devices in Sarojini Naidu's Songs of Radha. The two newly sprung disciplines, discourse analysis and stylistics, bridge the gap between literature and linguistics. Hence, a study on cohesive devices of grammatical devices and lexical devices, coupled with an analysis on semantic, morphological, syntactic, and phonological levels, presents the wholeness of the study of any text of any genre. A. M. Dwivedi says that Sarojini had served the cause of Indo-Anglican poetry at the dawn of the 20th century. One can briefly sum up Naidu's place in the history of Indo-Anglican poetry, quoting M. K. Nayak in 1982 as he said, her poems as historically significant and intrinsically important ones. He adds that Sarojini's best poetry was not just a faded echo of the feeble voice of decadent romanticism. To him, her poems were an authentic English lyric utterance, exquisitely tuned to the composite Indian ethos. He finds in them charm, opulence, and pageantry of the traditional Indian life. Her verses in Songs of Radha are indigenous and glimmer, capturing the spirit of India. Her aesthetic sensibility is well expressed via colors and description of nature, and also with rich and varied cultural heritage of India. In the first poem, At Dawn, as the women poet saints of Bhakti cult, Radha adorns in bridal outfits. She is too eager to meet Krishna, that is, she even gets enraged against her sweet Jnanashyam for being late. The second poem, At Dusk, which is a depiction of Radha awaiting the arrival of a radiant divine lover, in an elated anticipation of the moment of union with Krishna, Radha decks herself with gems and pearls, shivers and quivers, waiting for him. The third poem, The Quest, that is a talk with nature, inquiring about Krishna's whereabouts. Her search wasn't futile, as Krishna guides her why she searches him, while she is part of him as he is hers. She attains enlightenment. The present study is an attempt to investigate the use of cohesive devices in these three poems of Sarojini Naidu. The present study probes to solve the following questions. What types of cohesive devices are used in Songs of Radha? Are there any differences in the density of using cohesive devices in the set of poems? How much do cohesive devices and figures of speech contribute in building and understanding the theme and meanings in Songs of Radha? The source of the data in this research is a set of three poems written by Sarojini Naidu entitled Songs of Radha, which was posthumously published in the collection The Feather of the Dawn in 1961, edited by her daughter Padmaja Naidu. The researcher tabulated each type of devices in Excel sheets for coding the data to calculate the cohesive devices extracted from the poems. Along with the table, some important frequency count of datum are also displayed in the graphs so as to draw clearer discussion. For analyzing the cohesive devices as proposed by Halliday and Hassan's theory of cohesion 1976. In this content analysis method, The number and percentages of grammatical as well as lexical cohesive devices will be tabulated and will also be presented as graphs. Towards stylistic analysis of the text, the quantitative analysis of the percentage of words used for describing color, nature, etc. will be analyzed in terms of the themes they deal with. Phonological and syntactic analysis will also be done. Now the obtained results are shown in the pie chart and a graph. There are 73 personal pronouns. Out of 469 words of Songs of Radha, almost 16% of them are personal pronouns. All the 86.3% personal pronouns refer to Radha and Krishna. So it is just Radha Krishna story. Now let us see the percentage of total grammatical devices in each of the poems. When you see this table down below, at dawn you can see the total 51 cohesive devices are there. In the second poem at dusk there are 44 grammatical cohesive devices, and in the third one, the quest, there are 57 cohesive devices. So altogether 154 grammatical cohesive devices, that is almost in them, three-fourths of them are references, which makes the text coherent to the core. And if you see the graph over here, you can see the references and substitution and ellipsis and conjunctions are there in all the three poems. And all the grammatical devices are employed in these three poems. Aesthetic use of language can be elucidated with the use of lexical cohesive devices, as proposed by Halliday and Hassan in 1976. There was a lexical cohesive devices investigation, and the study found there are 28 synonyms and near synonyms in Songs of Radha, and Songs of Radha also had 20 antonyms, and it had 53 hyponyms and collocative words. Altogether, 101 words, that is 21.5% of words, are lexically cohesive. Thus, Sarojini depicts the earning of human soul from material things in dawn to dusk, then attaining its salvation, finding itself in Songs of Radha. The implication of Hindu spirituality is brought out in the concluding couplet, where the soul finds it part of Paramatma, as the whole poem echoes the Radhe Krishna tenet of Vaishnava philosophy. Jayadeva's Gita Govinda calls Krishna as blue-black cloud wrapped around in the attire of a rainbow, and says he wears a wreath of beautiful peacock tail plumery. In the 17th song, Jayadeva calls 7 times Krishna as O lotus-like-eyed one, Madhava. Like him, like Jayadeva, as if it were the mini version of Gita Govinda, Naidu uses some top phrases containing even 7 words as Krishna Murari, my radiant lover, Kamatvo. These 7 words are used twice. Thus, lexical cohesion in the 3 poems provides the semantic harmony. There are 10 exclamatory vows which express her anxiety and impatience. There are 3 pauses that indicate her emotions. With 101 lexical cohesion, that is 21.5% of words of the poem, besides similes, it is really a typical production of proving a reviewer's comment on Sarojini Naidu that her poetry is filled with undeniable beauty and distinction. As a typical Indian female poetess, her Songs of Radha is devoid of the passionate love of Jayadev's Gita Govinda. Nevertheless, sucked the essence of it and presented us with a cup of divine love nectar, Amrita. The readers could easily decipher the depth of love expressed in Songs of Radha by Sarojini Naidu, whom P.E. Dastur calls a lyricist of delicate fancy and poignant melody. All grammatical cohesive devices aptly link the theme and emotion Naidu likes to impart with her readers. As Yule in 2010 describes, cohesion helps the readers to make sense of what the readers read. And that's how Sarojini Naidu became the biggest wave in the Indian notion of literature. Aldous Huxley complimented Sarojini Naidu as a poet who could fuse her great intellect with charm, sweetness with indomitable energy, rich and varied culture with originality, and diligence with humor. Stylistic analysis with its scientific and objective look provided us with the opportunity to appreciate the uniqueness of Songs of Radha, where it is found with carefully chosen diction. Naidu has rendered flawless verses. Further, teaching literature through linguistic perspective would enrich one's comprehension of the literary piece. This study strongly recommends discourse and stylistic analysis of study to every piece of literature, especially poetry. Thank you. Thank you for the golden opportunity given.